The 1984 anti-Sikh riots, also known as the 1984 Sikh massacre, were a series of organized pogroms against Sikhs in India. Following the assassination of Indira Gandhi by her Sikh bodyguards, government estimates were that about 2,800 Sikhs were killed in Delhi and 3,350 nationwide, whilst other sources estimate the number of deaths at about 8,000–17,000. The assassination of Indira Gandhi had taken place after she had ordered Operation Blue Star, a military action in June 1984 to secure the Golden Temple, a Sikh temple complex in Amritsar, Punjab, which is one of the holiest sites in Sikhism. The operation had resulted in a deadly battle with armed Sikh groups, who were demanding greater rights and autonomy for Punjab and the deaths of many pilgrims. Sikhs worldwide had criticized the army action, and many saw it as an assault on their religion and identity. In the aftermath of the pogroms, the government reported that 20,000 Sikhs had fled the city. The People's Union for Civil Liberties reported at least 1,000 displaced persons. The most affected regions were the Sikh neighborhoods of Delhi. Human rights organizations and newspapers across India believed that the massacre was organized. The collusion of political officials connected to the Indian National Congress in the violence, and judicial failure to penalize the perpetrators, alienated Sikhs and increased support for the Khalistan movement. The Akal Takht, Sikhism's governing body, considers the killings a genocide. In 2011, Human Rights Watch reported that the government of India had yet to prosecute those responsible for the mass killings. According to the 2011 WikiLeaks cable leaks, the United States was convinced of the Indian National Congress's complicity in the riots, and called it opportunism and hatred by the Congress government of Sikhs. Although the U.S. has not identified the riots as genocide, it acknowledged that grave human rights violations occurred. In 2011, the burned sites of multiple Sikh killings from 1984 were discovered in Hand Shalar and Patauda areas of Haryana. The Central Bureau of Investigation believes that the violence was organized with support from the Delhi police and some central government officials. After 34 years of delay, in December 2018, the first high-profile conviction for the 1984 anti-Sikh riots took place with the arrest of Congress leader Sajjan Kumar, who was sentenced to life imprisonment by the Delhi High Court. Very few convictions have taken place in the pending 1984 cases, with only one death penalty conviction for an accused, Yashpal, in the case of murdering Sikhs in the Mahipalpur area of Delhi. Part of a series on persecution of Sikhs, skeletal remains of people burned to death at Thamali during the 1947 Rawalpindi massacres issues India. Human rights abuses in Punjab, India. Punjabi Suba movement Dharam Yudh Morcha. False encounters Pakistan. Coerced religious conversion in Pakistan. Religious discrimination in Pakistan. Afghanistan. Ethnic cleansing of Sikhs in Afghanistan. Discrimination. Sardarji joke. Quebec Kirpan ban. Quebec Bill 21. French ban on religious symbols in school. Turban bans. Anti-Sikh sentiment in Canada. Incidents. Execution of Guru Arjan. Execution of Guru Tegh Bahadur. Saka Sirhind. Execution of Bhai Taru Singh. Chota Galagara. Vada Galagara. Saka Nankana. Rape of Rawalpindi. 1947 Rajouri and Mirpur massacre. 1947 Kamok train massacre. 1948 Gujarat train massacre. Operation Blue Star. Destruction of the Sikh reference library. 1984 anti-Sikh pogroms. Hand Shalar massacre. Disappearance of Sukhwinder Singh body. Killing of Jaswant Singh Kalra. 2000 Chittasingpura massacre. Hate crimes in the aftermath of the September 11th attacks. In the 1972 Punjab state elections, Congress won and Akali Dal was defeated. In 1973, Akali Dal put forward the Anandpur Sahib resolution to demand more autonomy to Punjab. It demanded that power be generally devolved from the central to state governments. The Congress government considered the resolution a secessionist document and rejected it. Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale, a prominent Sikh leader of Dumdumi Taxil, then joined the Akali Dal to launch the Dharam Yudh Morcha in 1982 to implement the Anandpur Sahib resolution. Bhindranwale had risen to prominence in the Sikh political circle with his policy of getting the Anandpur resolution passed. Others demanded an autonomous state in India, based on the Anandpur Sahib resolution, as high-handed police methods were used on protesters during the Dharam Yudh Morcha, creating state repression affecting a very large segment of Punjab's population. Retaliatory violence came from a section of the Sikh population, widening the scope of the conflict by the use of violence of the state on its own people, creating fresh motives for Sikh youth to turn to insurgency. The concept of a separate Sikh state was still vague even while the complex was fortified under the influence of former Sikh army officials alienated by government actions, who now advised Bhindranwale, Major General Shabeg Singh and retired Major General and Brigadier Mohinder Singh. And at that point the concept was still not directly connected with the movement he headed. In other parts of Punjab, a state of chaos and repressive police methods combined to create a mood of overwhelming anger and resentment in the Sikh masses against the authorities, making Bhindranwale even more popular, and demands of independence gain currency, even amongst moderates and Sikh intellectuals. By 1983, the situation in Punjab was volatile. In October, Sikh militants stopped a bus and shot 6 Hindu passengers. On the same day, another group killed 2 officials on a train. The Congress-led central government dismissed the Punjab state government, invoking the president's rule. During the 5 months before Operation Blue Star, from the 1st of January to the 3rd of June 1984, 298 people were killed in violent incidents. In the 5 days preceding the operation, 48 people were killed by violence. According to government estimates, the number of civilians, police, and militants killed was 27 in 1981, 22 in 1982, and 99 in 1983. By June 1984, the total number of deaths was 410 in violent incidents and riots while 1,180 people were injured. On the 1st of June, Operation Blue Star was launched to remove Bhindranwale and armed militants from the Golden Temple complex. On the 6th of June, Bhindranwale died in the operation. Casualty figures for the army were 83 dead and 249 injured. According to the official estimate presented by the Indian government, 1,592 were apprehended and there were 493 combined militant and civilian casualties. Later operations by Indian paramilitary forces were conducted to clear the separatists from the state of Punjab. The operation carried out in the temple caused outrage among the Sikhs and increased the support for Sikh separatism. 4 months after the operation, on the 31st October 1984, Indira Gandhi was assassinated by her 2 Sikh bodyguards, Satwant Singh and Beant Singh. One of the assassins was fatally shot by Gandhi's other bodyguards while the other was convicted of Gandhi's murder and then executed. Public outcry over Gandhi's death led to the killings of Sikhs in the ensuing 1984 anti-Sikh riots. Geopolitical context. Before British colonization, Punjab was a region dominated by Sikh states known as Misls, which were later unified into the Sikh Empire by Maharaja Ranjit Singh. Following the British victory in the Second Anglo-Sikh War of 1849, the Sikh Empire was dissolved and integrated into the Punjab province. This period saw the emergence of religio-nationalist movements as a response to British colonial policies and socio-political changes. The concept of a Sikh homeland, Khalistan, emerged in the 1930s as British rule in India began to weaken. This idea gained momentum in response to the Muslim League's demand for a Muslim state, with the Sikhs viewing it as an encroachment on historically Sikh territory. The Akali Dal, a Sikh political party, envisioned Khalistan as a theocratic state, comprising parts of what is today Punjab in both India and Pakistan. Post-independence, the Akali Dal led the Punjabi Suba movement, advocating for the creation of a Punjabi majority state within India. The movement's demands ranged from autonomous statehood within India to a fully sovereign state. Initially, the Indian government resisted these demands, wary of creating another state based on religious grounds. By the late 1970s and 1980s, the Khalistan movement began to militarize, marked by a shift in Sikh nationalism and the rise of armed militancy. This period, especially leading up to and following Operation Blue Star in 1984, saw increased Sikh militancy as a response to perceived injustices and political marginalization. Violence. See also Hand Chalar massacre. After the assassination of Indira Gandhi on the 31st October 1984 by 2 of her Sikh bodyguards, anti-Sikh riots erupted the following day. They continued in some areas for several days, in which 3,000 to 17,000 people were killed. At least 50,000 Sikhs were displaced. Sultanpuri, Mangalpuri, Trilokpuri, and other Trans-Yamuna areas of Delhi were the worst affected. Perpetrators carried iron rods, knives, clubs, and combustible material. They entered Sikh neighborhoods, killing Sikhs indiscriminately and destroying shops and houses. Armed mobs stopped buses and trains in and near Delhi, pulling off Sikh passengers for lynching. Some were burnt alive. Others were dragged from their homes and hacked to death, and Sikh women were reportedly gang-raped and Sikhs also had acid thrown on them. Such wide-scale violence cannot take place without police help. Delhi police, whose paramount duty was to upkeep law and order situation and protect innocent lives, gave full help to rioters who were in fact working under able guidance of sycophant leaders like Jagdish Titler and HKL Bhagat. It is a known fact that many jails, sub-jails and lockups were opened for 3 days and prisoners, for the most part, hardened criminals, were provided fullest provisions, means and instruction to teach the Sikhs a lesson. But it will be wrong to say that Delhi police did nothing, for it took full and keen action against Sikhs who tried to defend themselves. The Sikhs who opened fire to save their lives and property had to spend months dragging heels in courts afterwards. Jagmohan Singh Kurmi, The Tribune. The grief, trauma, and survival of Sikh victims and witnesses is an important human perspective missing in much factual coverage of the riots. In interviews with Manoj Midha and H.S. Fulka for their book, When a Tree Shook Delhi, survivors recount harrowing tales of watching loved ones burned alive, raped, and dismembered. One Hindu woman describes her family sheltering over 70 Sikhs from murderous mobs who were targeting Sikh homes marked with an S. Ensaf's 2006 report, 20 Years of Impunity, contains dozens of eyewitness statements, accusing police and government officials of enabling and even participating in the violence. Personal stories help convey the true horrors endured by the Sikh community. The riots have also been described as pogroms, massacres or genocide. Meetings and weapons distribution. On the 31st of October, a crowd around the All India Institute of Medical Sciences began shouting vengeance slogans such as, "Blood for blood," and became an unruly mob. At 1720, President Zail Singh arrived at the hospital and the mob stoned his car. The mob began assaulting Sikhs, stopping cars and buses to pull Sikhs out and burn them. The violence on the 31st of October, restricted to the area around the AIIMS, resulted in many Sikh deaths. Residents of other parts of Delhi reported that their neighborhoods were peaceful. During the night of the 31st of October and the morning of the 1st of November, Congress party leaders met with local supporters to distribute money and weapons. Congress MP Sajjan Kumar and trade union leader Lalit Mikan handed out 100 notes and bottles of liquor to the assailants. On the morning of the 1st of November, Sajjan Kumar was observed holding rallies in the Delhi neighborhoods of Palam Colony, Kiran Gardens, and Sultanpuri. In Kiran Gardens at 800 am, Kumar was observed distributing iron rods from a parked truck to a group of 120 people and ordering them to attack Sikhs, kill them, and loot and burn their properties. During the morning he led a mob along the Palam Railway Road to Mangalpuri, where the crowd chanted, "Kill the Sardars," and "Indira Gandhi is our mother and these people have killed her." 62 in Sultanpuri, Moti Singh heard Kumar make the following speech: "Whoever kills the sons of the snakes, I will reward them. Whoever kills Roshan Singh and Bhag Singh will get 5,000 rupees each and 1,000 rupees each for killing any other Sikhs. You can collect these prizes on the 3rd of November from my personal assistant Jay Chand Jamadar." The Central Bureau of Investigation told the court that during the riot, Kumar said that not a single Sikh should survive. The Bureau accused Delhi police of keeping its eyes closed during the riot, which was planned. In the Shikarpur neighborhood, Congress party leader Shyam Tyagi's home was used as a meeting place for an undetermined number of people. According to a local Hindu witness, Minister of Information and Broadcasting H.K.L. Bhagat gave money to Bhoop Tyagi, saying, "Keep these 2,000 rupees for liquor and do as I have told you. You need not worry at all. I will look after everything." During the night of the 31st of October, Balwant Kokar, a local Congress party leader who was implicated in the massacre, held a meeting at Pandit Harkesh's ration shop in Palam. Congress party supporter Shankar Lal Sharma held a meeting, where he assembled a mob which swore to kill Sikhs, in his shop at 0830 on the 1st of November. Kerosene, the primary mob weapon, was supplied by a group of Congress party leaders who owned filling stations. In Sultanpuri, Congress party A4 block president Brahmanand Gupta distributed oil, while Sajjan Kumar instructed the crowd to kill Sikhs, and to loot and burn their properties. Similar meetings were held at locations such as Cooperative Colony in Bukhara, where local Congress president and gas station owner P.K. Tripathi distributed kerosene to mobs. Asim Shrivastava, a graduate student at the Delhi School of Economics, described the mob's organized nature in an affidavit submitted to the Misra Commission. The attack on Sikhs and their property in our locality appeared to be an extremely organized affair. There were also some young men on motorcycles, who were instructing the mobs and supplying them with kerosene oil from time to time. On more than a few occasions we saw auto rickshaw arriving with several tins of kerosene oil and other inflammable material, such as jute sacks. A senior official at the Ministry of Home Affairs told journalist Ivan Farah that an arson investigation of several businesses burned in the riots had found an unnamed combustible chemical, whose provision required large-scale coordination. Eyewitness reports confirmed the use of a combustible chemical in addition to kerosene. The Delhi Sikh Gurdwara Management Committee later cited 70 affidavits, noting the use of a highly flammable chemical in its written reports to the Misra Commission. Congress Party voter list use. On the 31st of October, Congress Party officials provided assailants with voter lists, school registration forms, and ration lists. The lists were used to find Sikh homes and business, an otherwise impossible task because they were in unmarked, diverse neighborhoods. During the night of the 31st of October, before the massacres began, assailants used the lists to mark Sikh houses with an S. Because most mob members were illiterate, Congress Party officials provided help, reading the lists and leading the mobs to Sikh homes and businesses in other neighborhoods. With the lists, the mobs could pinpoint the location of Sikhs they otherwise would have missed. Sikh men not at home were easily identified by their turbans and beards, and Sikh women were identified by their dress. In some cases, the mobs returned to locations where they knew Sikhs were hiding because of the lists. Amar Singh escaped the initial attack on his house by having a Hindu neighbor drag him into the neighbor's house and announce that he was dead. A group of 18 assailants later came looking for his body when his neighbor said that his body had been taken away. An assailant showed him a list and said, "Look, Amar Singh's name has not been struck off from the list, so his body has not been taken away." Aftermath. The Delhi High Court, delivering its verdict on a riot-related case in 2009, said, "Though we boast of being the world's largest democracy and the Delhi being its national capital, the sheer mention of the incidents of 1984 anti-Sikh riots in general and the role played by Delhi police and state machinery in particular makes our heads hang in shame in the eyes of the world polity. The government allegedly destroyed evidence and shielded the guilty." Asian Age, an Indian daily newspaper, ran a front-page story calling the government actions the mother of all cover-ups. From the 31st October 1984 to the 10th November 1984, the People's Union for Democratic Rights and the People's Union for Civil Liberties conducted an inquiry into the riots, interviewing victims, police officers, neighbors of the victims, army personnel and political leaders. In their joint report, Who Are the Guilty?, the groups concluded, the attacks on members of the Sikh community in Delhi and its suburbs during the period, far from being a spontaneous expression of madness and of popular grief and anger at Mrs. Gandhi's assassination as made out to be by the authorities, were the outcome of a well-organized plan, marked by acts of both deliberate commissions and omissions by important politicians of the Congress at the top and by authorities in the administration. According to eyewitness accounts obtained by Time magazine, Delhi police looked on as rioters murdered and raped, having gotten access to voter records that allowed them to mark Sikh homes with large X's, and large mobs being bussed into large Sikh settlements. Time reported that the riots led to only minor arrests, with no major politicians or police officers convicted. The magazine quoted NSAF, an Indian human rights organization, as saying that the government attempted to destroy evidence of its involvement by refusing to record first information reports. A 1991 Human Rights Watch report on violence between Sikh separatists and the government of India traced part of the problem to government response to the violence. Despite numerous credible eyewitness accounts that identified many of those involved in the violence, including police and politicians, in the months following the killings, the government sought no prosecutions or indictments of any persons, including officials, accused in any case of murder, rape or arson. The violence was allegedly led by Indian National Congress activists and sympathizers. The Congress-led government was widely criticized for doing little at the time, and possibly conspiring in the riots, since voter lists were used to identify Sikh families. Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh and Bharatiya Janata Party members also allegedly participated in the violence. The riots catalyzed lasting political and social changes among India's Sikhs. With the government failing to protect them, many Sikhs felt betrayed and marginalized, providing momentum to the Khalistan separatist movement. Revenge killings. Main article: Assassination of Arjun Das. On the 31st of July 1985, Harjinder Singh Jinda, Sukhdev Singh Sukha and Ranjit Singh Gill of the Khalistan Commando Force assassinated Congress Party leader and Member of Parliament Lalit Maken in retaliation for the riots. The 31-page report, Who Are the Guilty?, listed 227 people who led the mobs. Maken was third on the list. On the 5th of September 1985, Harjinder Singh Jinda and Sukhdev Singh Sukha assassinated Congress leader and member of Delhi Metropolitan Council, Aryan Das, because of his involvement in the riots. Das appeared in affidavits submitted by Sikh victims to the Nanavati Commission, headed by retired Supreme Court of India Judge G.T. Nanavati. On the 8th of April 1988, Vilayati Ram Kaital, a Congress MLA of Uttar Pradesh, was assassinated over his involvement in the riots. He allegedly led mobs. On the 19th of December 1991, Sikh militants killed 14 people. Among the 14 was Lala Ram. Ram was a Hindu militant who had been accused of inciting violence in the riots. In 2009, Khalistan Liberation Force members killed Drive Bood Parkash Kashyap over his involvement in the riots. Convictions. In 1995, Delhi Chief Minister Madan Lal Khurana said 46 persons have been prosecuted for their role in the riots. In Delhi, 442 rioters were convicted as of 2012. 49 were sentenced to the life imprisonment, and another 3 to more than 10 years imprisonment. 6 Delhi police officers were sanctioned for negligence during the riots. In April 2013, the Supreme Court of India dismissed the appeal of 3 people who had challenged their life sentences. That month, the Karkerduma District Court in Delhi convicted 5 people: Balwant Khokar, Mahender Yadav, Kashan Khokar, Girdhari Lal and Captain Bagmal for inciting a mob against Sikhs in Delhi cantonment. The court acquitted Congress leader Sajjan Kumar, which led to protests. In the first ever case of capital punishment in the 1984 anti-Sikh riots case, death sentence was awarded to Yashpal Singh. Convicted for murdering 2 persons, 24-year-old Hardev Singh and 26-year-old Avtar Singh, in Mahipalpur area of Delhi on the 1st of November 1984. Additional Sessions Judge Ajay Pandey pronounced the judgment on the 20th of November, 34 years after the crime was committed. The second convict in the case, Naresh Sarawat, was awarded life imprisonment. The court considered the failing health of 68-year-old Sarawat while giving him a lighter sentence. The conviction followed a complaint by the deceased Hardev Singh's elder brother Santak Singh. Though an FIR was filed on the same day of the crime, nothing came of the case as a Congress leader, J.P. Singh, who led the mob, was acquitted in the case. A fresh FIR was filed on the 29th of April 1993, following recommendations of the Ranganath Commission of Inquiry. The police closed the matter as untraced despite witness testimonies of the deceased's 4 brothers who were witness to the crime. The case was reopened by the Special Investigation Team constituted by the BJP-led NDA government on the 12th of February 2015. The SIT completed the investigation in record time. The first conviction resulting from the formation of the SIT came on the 15th of November 2018, by the conviction of Naresh Sarawat and Yashpal Singh. In December 2018, in one of the first high-profile convictions, former Congress leader Sajjan Kumar was sentenced to life imprisonment by the Delhi High Court. Based on the reopened investigation by the Special Investigation Team constituted by the NDA government in 2015. On the 20th of September 2023, Kumar was acquitted over 1 case of murder in the riot. Investigations. 10 commissions or committees have been formed to investigate the riots. The most recent, headed by Justice G.T. Nanavati, submitted its 185-page report to Home Minister Shivraj Patil on the 9th of February 2005. The report was tabled in Parliament on the 8th of August of that year. The commissions below are listed in chronological order. Many of the accused were acquitted or never formally charged. Marwa Commission. The Marwa Commission was appointed in November 1984. Ved Marwa, Additional Commissioner of Police, was tasked with inquiring into the role of the police during the riots. Many of the accused Delhi police officers were tried in the Delhi High Court. As Marwa was completing his inquiry in mid-1985, he was abruptly directed by the Home Ministry not to proceed further. The Marwa Commission records were appropriated by the government, and most were later given to the Misra Commission. Misra Commission. The Misra Commission was appointed in May 1985. Justice Rangnath Misra was a judge on the Supreme Court of India. Misra submitted his report in August 1986. and the report was made public in February 1987. In his report, he said that it was not part of his terms of reference to identify any individual and recommended the formation of 3 committees. The commission and its report was criticized as biased by the People's Union for Civil Liberties and Human Rights Watch. According to a Human Rights Watch report on the commission, it recommended no criminal prosecution of any individual, and it cleared all high-level officials of directing the pogroms. In its findings, the commission did acknowledge that many of the victims testifying before it had received threats from local police. While the commission noted that there had been widespread lapses on the part of the police, it concluded that the allegations before the commission about the conduct of the police are more of indifference and negligence during the riots than of any wrongful overt act. The People's Union for Civil Liberties criticized the Misra Commission for concealing information on the accused while disclosing the names and addresses of victims. Capper-Mittal Committee. The Capper-Mittal Committee was appointed in February 1987 at the recommendation of the Misra Commission to inquire into the role of the police. The Marwa Commission had almost completed a police inquiry in 1985 when the government asked that committee not to continue. This committee consisted of Justice Dilip Kapur and Kusum Mittal, retired Secretary of Uttar Pradesh. It submitted its report in 1990, and 72 police officers were cited for conspiracy or gross negligence. Although the committee recommended the dismissal of 30 of the 72 officers, none have been punished. Jain Banerjee Committee. The Jain Banerjee Committee was recommended by the Misra Commission for the registration of cases. The committee consisted of former Delhi High Court Judge M. L. Jain and retired Inspector General of Police A. K. Banerjee. In its report, the Misra Commission stated that many cases had not been registered. Although the Jain Banerjee Committee recommended the registration of cases against Sajjan Kumar in August 1987, no case was registered. In November 1987, press reports criticized the government for not registering cases despite the committee's recommendation. The following month, Brahmanand Gupta filed a writ petition in the Delhi High Court, and obtained a stay of proceedings against the committee which was not opposed by the government. The Citizens Justice Committee filed an application to vacate the stay. The writ petition was decided in August 1989 and the High Court abolished the committee. An appeal was filed by the Citizens Justice Committee in the Supreme Court of India. Pati Rosha Committee. The Pati Rosha Committee was appointed in March 1990 by the V.P. Singh government as a successor to the Jain Banerjee Committee. In August 1990, the committee issued recommendations for filing cases based on affidavits submitted by victims of the violence. There was one against Sajjan Kumar. When a CBI team went to Kumar's home to file the charges, his supporters held and threatened them if they persisted in pursuing Kumar. When the committee's term expired in September 1990, Pati and Rosha decided to end their inquiry. Jain Agarwal Committee. The Jain Agarwal Committee was appointed in December 1990 as a successor to the Pati Rosha Committee. It consisted of Justice J. D. Jain and retired Uttar Pradesh Director General of Police D. K. Agarwal. The committee recommended the registration of cases against prominent Congress leaders like H. K. L. Bhagat, Sajjan Kumar, Dharamdas Shastri and Jagdish Titler. These cases weren't registered by police. It suggested establishing 2 or 3 special investigating teams in the Delhi Police under a Deputy Commissioner of Police, supervised by an additional Commissioner of Police answerable to the CID, and a review of the workload of the 3 special courts set up to deal with the riot cases. The appointment of special prosecutors to deal the cases was also discussed. The committee was wound up in August 1993, but the cases it recommended were not registered by the police. Ahuja Committee. The Ahuja Committee was the 3rd committee recommended by the Misra Commission to determine the total number of deaths in Delhi. According to the committee, which submitted its report in August 1987, 2,733 Sikhs were killed in the riots. Dhillon Committee. The Dhillon Committee, headed by Gurdeel Singh Dhillon, was appointed in 1985 to recommend measures for the rehabilitation of victims. The committee submitted its report by the end of the year. One major recommendation was that businesses with insurance coverage whose claims were denied should receive compensation as directed by the government. Although the committee recommended ordering the nationalized insurance companies to pay the claims, the government did not accept its recommendation and the claims were not paid. Narula Committee. The Nehrulla Committee was appointed in December 1993 by the Madan Lal Khurana-led BJP government in Delhi. One recommendation of the committee was to convince the central government to impose sanctions. Khurana took up the matter with the central government, which in the middle of 1994, the central government decided that the matter did not fall within its purview and sent the case to the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi. It took 2 years for the P.V. Narasimha Rao government to decide that it did not fall within its purview. The Narasimha Rao government further delayed the case. The committee submitted its report in January 1994, recommending the registration of cases against H.K.L. Bhagat and Sajjan Kumar. Despite the central government delay, the CBI filed the charge sheet in December 1994.